Alright, so I'm hitting them with the treasurer. I want to run a note about William Wallace's video on, I think it was History Channel or something like that, but they brought in a treasury for the field in a bridge on a bottleneck of a thing, and I like to input that as a treasury note, but I play at different positions. When you understand it from two people, that he's running the treasury, but he's also in the foundry for running active cost lines, training from the ABC curvature problem of difference in engineering mathematics that house that eddy flow into an energy Fy over X. That gets into this alchemy stuff in the rock cabinet. But back over here, while you're the treasurer doing gravity for the differential on a thing, really honestly, turns back over to, alright, so this is the battlefield. You know, the original model of what the treasury for the sergeant at arms based on the quill here, a Nux version, circle groups over here on the thing are cost ratio values, derivative or derivative, something, and a team models that say, kind of hand that off there, they use it like that. If these two things come in, then there has to be communication based on those two factors, saying this is the shiny on the code. It's not going to be every person you run into you kill Doomslayer. You gotta get it in there. So NSNBC, or what do you got there? Well, you got those three there. This one, CNN, left, Fox on the right, these guys in the middle. Then you're getting the Jim on NSBC there, backing that up. Anything from, because you can line that up this way, and out front for space-time stuff on the internet lined up for indexes. Is that Hubble? Can I build a Hubble SpaceX factory with dealing with Elon's neutrino for my pad time and dealing with the goddamn Air Force? And then you would do an investigation based on that, and everything Site 13, Gate Guardian at the door. Some mecha team on Sentinel program. And again, you know, you're traveling through it there. You're moving pretty quick. Those numbers can each do every day, like a stock model. I did this. They hit on the board. Here's what the topics they covered individually from their CEO heading versus that model on the index of the company. Did this for the holdings or the fourth quarter report, right? What do I need that for? Tested a company. Well, this is what your company did. You were projected on a thing because I knew that index on a thing to do a thing differential, or how you corrected that in the squishy zone of that time index, and these are the cases. Those are the pipe works on that thing from people's perspectives. This could be argued to be a functionable idea that would adjust it on the dark neutrinos, WIMP particles that adjust that index. It's like, that is true, and it definitely is in this, and now we have a better spectrum of what's going on in there. I'm actively tracking those systems, not like Jim Stocks. That's its own version that needs to be done while you're trying to figure out how to process the NP problem of organizations of steps, processes, forms, that is easy to check, easy to do, easy to say in this form of the math problem, derivatives would equal certain results very consistently, minor adjustments between days on the stone mill, quantum operations to different stone mills, or any grind, really, that pulls a number out or does that differential in time space, but you got to have a product to pull from the ground. Got to have stuff. I mean, steel went to steel containers before it went to shipping container problems right now on certain indexes that put that together based on what people, jobs, semiconductor factories, bills and policies all kind of come across, and where you would put that if you gather the news from something that's easy to check. Hit the variables. Use the YouTube thing at the end of the day to check your market. See the Z-coin. Make stock changes and adjustments on how that FMA stuff to time indexes. And that's treasury position. That's one of those things in there that says you can actually factor that. And putting the team together is that index, checking the nuts on it consistently, service rotation, because there's a real pressure. The realm's waiting to compress. Either you can defend that gym with some kid coming in the argument, right? And then some teams, how that they wouldn't even, not, I mean, it could be some wild ball, but honestly, the separator just immediately recognized the sensor on it, and it goes off and it solves its own problem based on that way without interfering with somebody else's version of that same thing, doing whereas pretty complicated to really define the answer in that physics consistently on the chalkboard. A brick and Josh conjecture of pumping this thing out in an air turbulence flow problem on what is a vortex inside here. It's just you put water and water, and there she's with air con, and then this thing, and because otherwise you wouldn't notice it, or you have to get real close at the macro scale to see the density differences with bending light functions and density differences that actually say, you know, you can do shit like that with polarizing wave functions on indexes. We'll change it to 90 on the red, blue, or a 45 that tints it, makes it a little fuzzy on general relativity. But catch you on the next one.